Okay, so today will be discussing the eighth chapter of the first canto. So in the first canto, we have discussed that there are three parts. There are three sections. The first part is the first three chapters. In the first chapter, Sut Goswami and Shaunakadi Rishi, they ask 6 questions, and the Sut Goswami answers them in the first three chapters, second and third chapter basically. And then in the fourth chapter, the sages, they ask another question, another set of questions about the history of Bhagavatam, uh, where it was written, how it was written, from where did Vyasdev get inspiration to write this literature, and how did the meeting between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami take place. So in response to these questions, Sut Goswami, he starts answering, and then from fourth fourth chapter onwards till seventh chapter 11th verse, he answers the first three questions: the history of Bhagavatam, where it was written, and what was the inspiration. And then from 7.12 onwards, Sut Goswami starts describing the activities of Parikshit Maharaj. So in the seventh chapter, it is described, Sut Goswami describes how Parikshit Maharaj, he was such a great king. And to describe the birth of Parikshit Maharaj, he describes what happened at the end of Mahabharata. Ashwatthama killed the 5 sons of Draupadi, and Arjuna took a vow to get the head of Ashwatthama. Then Krishna and Ashwatthama and Arjuna went. Arjuna arrested Ashwatthama. Draupadi, out of her gentle nature, she said, please don't kill him. And then there was an argument which went on, and ultimately Ashwatthama, his jewel and his hairs were removed, and then he was thrown out of the camp. So that's how the seventh chapter ends. So the important verse where there was, Arjuna could understand the heart of Krishna. Arjuna sahasa agyaya harer hardam athasina. So he knew the heart of Krishna, therefore he could respond in a right way. So that's how Bhagavatam teaches the right way to respond in various problems. So then in the 8th chapter, which is entitled The Prayers of Queen Kunti and Parikshit Saved, very beautiful prayers are going to come in this chapter. So Sud Goswami continues at Pandavas, after Ashwatthama was thrown out of the camp, they desired to deliver water to the dead relatives who had desired it. So we'll start the 8th chapter. So we'll recite the first verse. Suta uvacha athate samparetaanam swanam udakamichchatam datum sakrishna gangayam puraskritya yayustriyaha. Translation, somebody can read.
Sutta Goswami said, thereafter the Pandavas, desiring to deliver water to the dead relatives who had desired it, went to the Ganges with Draupadi. The ladies walked in front.
So now after Ashwatthama was thrown out, so Pandavas headed by Yudhishthira Maharaj, they offered water to the dead relatives and they went along with Draupadi. So Prabhupada writes, to date, it is a custom to go to Ganges, Ganga, and any other river, sacred river, to take bath when death occurs. So that's how this procession started. Next verse, translation. Somebody can read? Translation.
Having lamented over them and sufficiently offered Ganges water, they bathed in the Ganges, whose water is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah, just give me a few seconds, just a minute. Hare Krishna. So after offering water to the dead relatives, so Suta Goswami is glorifying Ganga, whose water is sanctified with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. So in the 18th chapter of this first canto also, the beautiful glorification of Ganga comes. Yavailasa Shri Tulasi Vimishra Krishnangri Renum Abhyadikam Bunetri Punati Loka Anubhayatra Seshan Kastam Na Seveta Marishyamanaha. So Yavailasa Shri Tulasi Vimishra, the waters of Ganga, they are mixed with the Tulasi which is offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. Krishnangri Renum. So the dust of the Lord's lotus feet along with Tulasi, it is mixed in Ganga. Punati Loka Anubhayatra Seshan. So Ganga purifies all the three planetary systems. Kastam, who will not take shelter of this wonderful river? So that's the beauty of Ganga. So there's an interesting interesting piece of information which comes in the 18th chapter where Acharyas, they give slightly different understanding. So now a question. Where did Parikshit Maharaj go when he was cursed to die in 7 days? Which river? Anybody?
Ganga.
Ganga. Okay.
Yamuna.
Okay, Yamuna. So actually the Bhagavatam says Ganga, but Acharya Jiva Goswami says actually in Delhi, which river flows in Delhi? Yamuna.
Yamuna.
So Jiva Goswami says actually, no, Parikshit Maharaj went to Yamuna. And then Prabhupada also writes the same thing. He says, oh, but actually Ganga and Yamuna both are same. Both are, coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. Both are blessed by the Lord. But especially Yamuna is more important because Krishna has performed so many pastimes in Yamuna. So whether Ganga or Yamuna, both are purifying rivers. So all the relatives, they went to Ganga and took bath there. And then third verse, something interesting is happening. Who were present in this ceremony? Tatra Sinam Kurupatim
Srinam Purupatim
Dhritarashtram Sahanujam Gandharim Putra Shokartam Pritham Krishnam Cha Madhavaha.
Those there sat the king of Kurus, Maharaj Yudhishthir, along with his younger brothers and Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, and Draupadi, all overwhelmed with grief. Lord Krishna was also there. Hare Krishna.
So although Krishna is not affected by the pains and pleasures of this world, but because he loves his devotees, so therefore as a matter of duty and to show affection to the Pandavas, Krishna is also present in all these rituals. He behaves like ordinary human so that the society of the human beings can accept and relate to Krishna. It comes in the 10th canto also, when Pandavas, it is described there, when Pandavas were burnt, they were attempted to be burnt by Duryodhan and party in the Lakshagraha. And when the news came that, oh, they are all burnt. So Krishna knows everything, he's a Sarvagya. But still he is lamenting there. He was also lamenting because just to be with the public apparent death of Pandavas, he's lamenting. So the word used is Dhritarashtram Sahanujam. So this reference to Anuja, So who is this Anuja? Saha Anuja, with younger brother. So it is described that this indicates Vidura.
Vidura.
But Vidura had gone for pilgrimage at the time of Mahabharata war. So how come he is referred to as being present here? So, this apparent contradiction is, answered in a very famous way. Whenever we have such contradictions, what do we say? This happened in a different kalpa. So that's what Vallabhacharya also tells. He tells that this story of Vidurji going to pilgrimage belonged to a different kalpa and not in this present kalpa. So these pastimes are, it seems that they are eternal pastimes. They keep happening. So all the so Krishna appears with his devotees and keeps performing pastimes in every kalpa. Okay. So Prabhupada also writes the same thing. The last few lines of the purport. Krishna was also one of them as cousin of the Pandavas. The Lord was equally sympathetic towards all of them and therefore began to pacify them befittingly. And then what he did? He is pacifying all the Pandavas. Santvayam asa munibhir
Santavayam asa munipir
hatabandhun shucharpitan
Padabandhu
bhuteshu kalasya gatim
Bhute Kalagatim
darshayanna pratikriyan.
setting the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reactions upon the living beings, Lord Sri Krishna and the Munis began to pacify those who were shocked and affected.
Santvayamasa, just to pacify them, all the sages and Krishna. So both of them, they began to pacify all the relatives, Pandavas, Bhuteshu, Kalas. How did they pacify? They started citing the various laws, stringent laws of the Supreme, which nobody can counteract. Darshayan na pratikriyan, because they were all shocked and they were completely affected by this whole massacre. So therefore, they were trying to pacify Pandavas and all the relatives. Darshayan na pratikriya. So Srila Prabhupada, he focuses on this word darshayan na pratikriya. The stringent laws of nature. Somebody can read this purport?
The stringent laws of nature, under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot be altered by any living entity. The living entities are eternally under the subjugation of the Almighty Lord. The Lord makes all the laws and orders, and these laws and orders are generally called dharma or religion. No one can create any religious formula. Bona fide religion is to abide by the orders of the Lord. The Lord's orders are clearly declared in the Bhagavad Gita. Everyone should follow him only or his orders, and that will make all happy, both materially and spiritually. As
Okay.
long as we are in the
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is how the laws of the nature are very stringent. That means very strict. Laws don't, leave anyone if that person is ignorant. So as we all know, that ignorance is no excuse. Oh, I didn't know it. That was your problem. That is our problem if I don't know if we don't know the laws. So if a child also puts a hand in the fire, it will be burnt. So laws are stringent. And therefore, that's how the living entities are controlled by such stringent laws. In the 13th chapter of this first canto, it will come when Vidura returns back after the whole war. He was thinking that, one person is still, attached and staying in the palace. He wanted to deliver his brother. So he comes back and he starts describing in very, very strong words. And he tells that Pratikriyanayasyeha kutaschit karhichit prabho Sa esh Bhagavan Kala Sarvesham na Samagata. So Vidura, he's telling Dhritarashtra, oh Dhritarashtra, this situation, you are staying in the family, in the palace of your enemies. You know, you are living on the remnants thrown by Bhima. Bhima Pavarjitam Pindam Adatte Grihpalavat. So you are living like a dog. So throughout his life, Dhritarashtra was advised by Vidura. So Vidura, so Dhritarashtra may say, oh, can you please find a situation, a remedy for this situation? Can I come out of this situation? He says, Pratikriya na yasyeha, O king, there is no way you can counteract this situation. Kutaschit karhichit. Nobody and nowhere you will find the remedy for this. Because Saesh Bhagavan Kalaha. The Supreme Lord has appeared in the form of this time factor. Sarvesham Nasama. Everybody has to suffer. Everybody has to go through the influence of time. Earlier you were blind, now you have become deaf also. You can't hear anything. You can't eat anything. When you breathe, all the sounds are coming. Sandha Pureva Badhiro Manda Pragya Sampratam Vishina Danta Mandagni Saragah Kafamudvahan. So he says, everything is collapsing in your body, but still you are thinking you will enjoy. Just see the desire of a living entity to live. Jivit Asha. Jivit रहने की आशा इतनी प्रबल है, so strong. Even if everything is collapsing in the body, but still a person doesn't want to leave the body. So that's how nobody can counteract the laws of nature. So Prabhupada writes, in our material stage, we can neither see ourselves nor the Lord for want of spiritual vision. But when we are liberated, then we can see both ourselves and the Lord face to face. That is called as mukti. Now, what is the definition of mukti as per Bhagavatam? There's a verse, very famous verse. What is mukti? In the 11th canto it comes. What is the definition of mukti? Prabhupada would quote this verse many times. Anybody remembers or knows? Mukti hitva anyatha rupam.
Swarupena avasthite.
Swarupena vyavasthiti. Yes, So that's what Prabhupada is paraphrasing. So many times when we are reading the purports of Bhagavatam, we should try to find out which verse Prabhupada is paraphrasing here, because that's what Prabhupada does many times. Many times Prabhupada quotes some Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or some scripture. So we should always be careful to catch those lines. Okay, abhi ye kaun sa verse ka translation Prabhupada is paraphrasing. So mukti means to be reinstated in one's own original spiritual status after giving up material conception. So that's how Prabhupada writes that this human form of life is meant to realize Krishna. But because of the Maya's influence, people, they just get entangled. So all these instructions, they are very essential instructions when somebody is really suffering some calamity in life. So these instructions, they help that person. So one can tolerate and go through the calamities in life when such instructions are told, imparted to that person. That is how devotees are so very essential in our lives. Because we may hear all these instructions, we may know all these instructions, but that at the time of problems, the same situation, same instructions, they pacify us. We may be knowing everything, but still the same instructions, they pacify us. So Prabhupada writes, this clearance of misgivings of material existence at once takes place by association with Lord's devotees, who are able to inject the transcendental sound into the depths of the bewildered heart and thus make one practically liberated. So that's how all these things, all these instructions, they are very, very important. So somebody can ask this question, Lord is omnipotent, right? Why Lord didn't prevent all these, calamities in the life of Pandavas? Sarvesham Saesh Bhagavan Kala, the Supreme Lord, he is appeared in the form of time. The Lord is, Vidura is telling to Dhritarashtra, Sarvesh Bhagavan Kala Sarvesham na Samagataha. So the answer is, actually Lord has given the power and authority to the time factor. And therefore, time factor is working. It is the power which is given by the Lord only to this time factor. And Lord never interferes in the workings of the time. Just like the king does not interfere in the family of, family issues of a person. Just like when a father is punishing the son, the king doesn't interfere in that. Why are you punishing your son? No. The father has the authority to chastise his children. Similarly, the time factor is the authority. Time is the ruling factor in this world. And that's how time controls how to, orchestrate things in the life of a devotee also. But somebody may say, oh, but time factor is also a devotee. Time factor is also coming from the Supreme Lord only. I said, yes, time factor is a devotee, but, time factor sometimes works to show the greatness of other devotees. That's how the devotees are put in certain situations. So that is how, we have to understand and see the situations in the life of Pandavas. Whenever Lord puts his pure devotees into some problems, it is just to show the whole world. And as Prabhupada would tell, mother-in-law teaches the daughter-in-law by chastising daughter, because daughter understands. But the daughter-in-law, she is just new. So therefore, when Lord wants to teach a lesson, he does it through his devotees. Okay, next verse. A translation, somebody can read.
The clever Duryodhana and his party cunningly and usurped the kingdom of Yudhishthira, who had no enemy. By the grace of the Lord, the recovery was executed, and the unscrupulous kings who joined with the Duryodhana were killed by him. Others also died. They are durations of the life, having their degrees for their rough handling of the hair of the Queen Draupadi.
Kachasparsha Shatayushaha. Kachasparsha, because they touched the hair of Draupadi, that's why their life duration was reduced. So that is how, all these things are happening. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that Brahmanas, cows, and old people and children, they are supposed to be protected. Why they are supposed to be protected? And of course, the fifth, women. Yes, these five classes should be protected always. Brahmanas, cows, women, children, and old people. Why they should be protected? So that is very important, because Brahmanas, they maintain the institution of Varna and Ashram, therefore they should be protected. And the cows, they give milk that nourishes the finer tissues of the brain. And the women, they maintain the chastity in the society. That was the, fear of Arjuna. If I'll kill all of them, all the soldiers are killed, then women will be unprotected, and then Varna Sankara will be born. Jayate Sankaro Narkayeva Kulagananam Kulasya Patanti Pitrohiesham Luptapindodaka Kriya. And when the women will be polluted, then Varna Sankara will be born, entire tradition will be lost. So that's how the women should be protected, so that we can get a good generation for peace, tranquility, and progress. Then children should be protected so that they can prepare their path to liberty, and the old men should be given a chance for liberation, preparing for their death. So that's how this is the complete society where all these 5 classes of people should be protected. So Prabhupada writes a very nice line. This complete outlook is based on factors leading to successful humanity as against the civilization of polished cats and dogs. And Prabhupada very strongly writes many times that if these civilized things are not happening in the society, protection of brahmanas, cows, women, children, old men, then we are just a civilization of polished cats and dogs. And Prabhupada describes that, people in Kali Yuga, they kill all these innocent living beings. But by doing this, one's duration of life is decreased. So therefore, one should not kill even lower living entities. So that's how all these people, Duryodhana and the party, because they tried to destroy the chastity of Draupadi and they tried to kill Pandavas. Therefore, they were lost. Bhagavatam 10th Canto describes what is the effect of offending a great personality. Ayu Shriyo Yasho Dharmam Lokan Ashish Evacha Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani Pumso Mahad Atikramaha. When great personalities are offended, what happens? Various things go down. Ayu, the lifespan, Shriya, wealth, Yasha, fame, Dharma, religious principles, Ashish Evacha, and all the benedictions, they go away. Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani, all the auspiciousness goes away when Mahad Atikramaha, when the great personalities are offended. So therefore, because Pandavas were offended, so naturally all the Kauravas headed by Duryodhana, they were destroyed. Okay, so after everything is done, now Krishna, he told Yudhishthir Maharaj to perform Ashwamedh Yagya. Yajayitva Ashwamedhaistam
Yajaitashamedestam
Tribhir Uttama Kalpakaihi
Tripi
Uttama Kalpakai
Tadyasha Pavanam Dikshu
Tadyasha
Pavanam Dikshu
Shatamanyor Ivatanot.
Shatmanyo
Vivadanat.
Lord Shri Krishna caused 3 well-performed Ashwamedh yagnas or sacrifices to be conducted by Maharaj Yudhishthira, and thus caused his virtuous fame to be glorified in all directions, like that of Indra, who had performed 100 such sacrifices.
So although Yudhishthir, he performed only 3 Ashwamedh, and as compared to Indra, he performed 100. That's why he's called a Shatakratu. And in short, he's called a Shakra. So Shatakratu ka short form, Shakra. Shata mein se Sha and Kratu mein se Kra. Shakra. So therefore he is Shatakratu. But still the fame of Yudhishthira Maharaj was equal to Indra because he was a devotee of the Lord. Lord makes his devotees more famous. In the 12th chapter it comes, the kingdom of Yudhishthira was so opulent and it was so famous that even the denizens of heaven would envy the opulence of Yudhishthira Maharaj's kingdom. Kimte kama surasparha mukunda manaso dvija. So surasparha, demigods would envy and they would desire the opulence of Yudhishthira. Kimte kama surasparha. But all these opulence, it was not affecting Yudhishthira Maharaj. Why? Mukund manaso dvija. His mind was absorbed in Krishna. Mukund manaso dvija. Therefore, adhijaharu mudam ragya shuddhitasya yathetare. He was satisfied only with Krishna consciousness. That is the ideal king. And very nice example Sut Goswami gives. Shuddhi tasya yathe tare. Just like, after next day of Nirjal, you go to temple and then in the morning, सब लोगों को सुबह में announcement हो रहा है, okay, today Dwadashi Paran time is this. So everybody please come for, limbu pani bana hai sabke liye and then whatever. So then all the devotees, if they go in temple hall, kitchen after Mangal Aarti, and then पहले सबको गार्लैंड पहनाया जा रहा है, फिर चंदन लगाया जा रहा है, फिर मतलब बहुत सारा वेलकम हो रहा है. So what will you think? अरे यार ये सब बाजू में रखो, पहले नींबू पानी दो, So no, whatever hospitality you want to do, you do it later. जो भी आपको करना है, गार्लैंड पहनाना है, चंदन लगाना है, बाद में, पहले नींबू पानी, So hungry person is satisfied only with food. Nothing else can satisfy a hungry person. Similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj is not satisfied with anything else but Krishna. So that's how Yudhishthira Maharaj's glories are described. So, Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is something like the preface to the performance of Ashwamedh Yajna. The comparison of Yudhishthira to King of Heaven is significant. King of Heaven is thousands and thousands of times greater than Maharaj Yudhishthira in opulence, but fame of Maharaj Yudhishthira was no less because he was a devotee of the Lord. That is a prerogative of a devotee. Lord makes his devotees more glorious. That is the nature of the Lord. He is Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. And the most beautiful aspect of his nature is he likes to give credit to his devotees. He likes to make his devotees famous. The sun rays are equally distributed, but still there are some places which are always dark. This is not due to sun, but to the receptive power. Similarly, those who are cent% devotees of the Lord get the full-fledged mercy, which is always distributed everywhere equally. So Lord is never partial. He's equal, samoham sarva bhuteshu. He wants to give his mercy to everyone. Just like if there's a feast, and in feast there is paneer, sabji, gulab jamun, fried, pakoda. It is distributed to everyone. But only a person who has a proper digestion can absorb it and take advantage of it. So Lord is distributing his mercy to everyone, everywhere, but only those who have the right attitude, right consciousness, that attitude of humility, they can only accept and get benefit. It's like one time Prabhupada was there in one place and one Gurukul boy came, Prabhupada, why are you giving so much mercy to Tamal? He was talking about Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Because Prabhupada was really spending lots of time with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, because Tamal Krishna Maharaj was like the, yes man, and he was go-getter. Whatever nobody could do, Prabhupada would tell, okay, call Tamal. And he would come and he would do unimaginable things. Mayapur land, nobody could get. Tamal Krishna Maharaj went and then he got the land. And one time a consignment came of books from the West, and on the dockyard, they were not releasing the books. And Prabhupada called Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and then Tamal Krishna Maharaj was an amazing personality. He was a very, very powerful and influential personality. So therefore, Prabhupada was giving lots of time. And of course, Prabhupada gave him royal chastisement also many times. If you read the diaries of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, then you will understand Prabhupada really made Tamal Krishna Maharaj humble at many instances. Really. And actually, outsiders, they think that, oh, Prabhupada is giving so much mercy. Yes. But Prabhupada told this Gurukul boy, said, I am distributing my mercy to everyone, he has taken advantage of it. So that's how, the advantage, the mercy is everywhere, but it depends on us. Just like one time Prabhupada, he spoke, one devotee went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, please give me your mercy so that I can follow your instructions. Prabhupada said, my mercies, I have given you instructions. Now you have to follow it. वो मेरा कृपा है. And if somebody has fallen in well and a rope is thrown, then you cannot say, let my fingers curl around the rope automatically. अपने आप नहीं होगा, उसके लिए मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. So therefore, although Krishna is distributing mercy to everyone, but the devotees of the Lord, they take maximum advantage of it. Okay, then what happened? So Krishna, he told Yudhishthira, you performed Rajas Ashwamedh Yagya. And then after this, Lord, he was about to depart. Amantrya Panduputramscha
Panduputramscha
Sene Yodhava Samyutaha
Sena Yodha Samyuta
Dvaipayanadibhirviprai
Dvapayanidhi Viprai
Pujitai Pratipujita.
Pujite Pratipujita. Lord Shri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu. After having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vyasadeva, the Lord also reciprocated greetings.
So now Krishna is in Hastinapur, and then now he had to depart for Dwarka because he was away for a long time. And therefore Dwarkavasis, they were in separation. They were thinking, अरे आप हमेशा traveling करते रहते हैं, रहते नहीं कभी द्वारका में आप. You're always abroad only. So that's the feelings of Dwarkavasis will come in the 10th chapter, 11th chapter, where they say you are always abroad. Katham vayam nat chiroshite tvai. How we will maintain our life if you are always away? Prapanya drishta kilatapasoshanam jive mate sundarahasa shobhanam apashyamana vadanam manoharam. Are how we will maintain our life without seeing your beautiful face? You're always traveling. Sometimes you go to Kuru, sometimes you go to Madhu. Madhu means Vrindavan. You're always traveling, So now he is about to depart. He is thinking of Dwarka now. So Prabhupada writes, so now Brahmanas, they worshipped Krishna, and Lord reciprocated with them. So Lord reciprocated the greetings just to honor the social order that a Kshatriya is obedient to the orders of Brahmanas. Although Krishna was always offered the respect due the Supreme Lord, the Lord never deviated from the customary usages between the four orders of the society. So Lord was offered greetings, and Lord also offered the greetings. He also respected the Brahmanas. So that's how obedience. So Prabhupada writes, obedience is taking the greetings of Brahmanas. That is also obedience. If some senior personality is giving some respect, okay, it is obedience to accept that respect in a humble way. That is what Krishna is showing this in this pastime. Although he is a Supreme Lord, but he is a Kshatriya. How can a Kshatriya take worship from Brahmanas? But he accepted the mood of the Brahmanas because they were not thinking he is a Kshatriya, he is a Supreme Lord. So he accepted them. Gantum kritamate Brahman Dwarakam Rathamasitaha
Dvarakam Rathamasthitah
Upalebhe Abhidhavanti
Upalibhe Bhavanti
Uttaram Bhayavihvalam.
Uttaram Vayavibhalam. As soon as he seated himself on the chariot to start for Dwarka, he saw Uttara hurrying towards him in fear. Hare Krishna.
So Uttara is the wife of Abhimanyu, and she is running towards Krishna. So interestingly, all the Pandavas are there. Pandavas are like the father-in-laws. Yudhishthira is there, great bowman Arjuna is there, Bhima is there. all the big personalities are assembled there, but she is not going to them. She is going to Krishna directly. And none of them objected. Are kya hai? Hum log hai na. Why are you going to Krishna? No. She was helplessly going to Krishna because that's how a devotee is. Whenever in danger, devotee always runs towards Krishna. She was not analyzing who can protect me in this situation, because Brahmastra, it can be counteracted by Arjuna also, and Bhima is also powerful. No, helplessly she is approaching Krishna. So Prabhupada writes, somebody can read this purport, small purport.
All the members of the family of the Pandavas were completely dependent on the protection of the Lord, and therefore the Lord protected all of them in all circumstances. The Lord protects everyone, but one who depends completely upon him is especially looked after by the Lord. The father is more attentive to the little son, who is exclusively dependent on the father.
So that's how Lord protects everyone. He gives assurance to everyone that I'll protect you. That's why he's providing all the necessities of life, air, water, and everything, grains. But if somebody is really helpless, then the Father takes care. The Supreme Lord takes special care of him or her. Now, Uttara, she is praying, is calling the Lord. Uttara Uvacha,
Uttara Uvacha,
Pahi Pahi Mahayogi,
Pahi Pahi Mahayogi,
Deva Deva Jagatpate,
Deva Deva Jagatpate,
Nanyam Todavayam Pashe,
Nanyam Tadayam
Yatra Mrityu Parasparam,
Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttara
Uttara
said,
said,
O Lord of the Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality.
Pahi Pahi, oh my Lord Mahayogi, please protect me. You are Deva Deva, you are Jagatpati. Apart from you, I don't see anyone else who can give me fearlessness. Na anyam tvat. Apart from you, abhayam. Nobody can give abhay in this world of dualities, oh my Lord, apart from you. Yatra mrityu parasparam. This is the place of duality. Death is around everywhere. That's the conviction of a devotee. Only Krishna can save me, nobody else. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he tells that somebody can tell Uttara that how can you pray like this? You are praying for your life, even though your husband is dead. You are now without your husband. Are you not ashamed to pray like this? Because generally, wife, if the husband is dead, she doesn't like to live only. But here she's praying for her life. Please protect me. So Uttara says, I'm not praying for my life. I'm praying for my son's life. Because she knows that this child will be a great devotee of the Lord. And that's why I'm praying to protect his life. So that's how Uttara is praying. So Uttara, she was a great devotee herself. And as a devotee, she realized that this child who is in the womb, who's my womb, is going to be a great devotee. So therefore, she was very powerful also. Vallabhacharya tells in this Sri Subodhini, she was the one who saw that Brahmastra first. And he tells that actually the 5 arrows, so Brahmastra, Ashwatthama, he shot 5 arrows towards Pandavas and 1 towards the womb of Uttara. So 6 Brahmastras he shot again, So after getting released from the camp of Pandavas, again Ashwatthama released 6 Brahmastras. 5 for the Pandavas and one for the last descendant of Pandava. So therefore, Uttara, she is crying for protection. So Prabhupada, he focuses on this word yatra mrityu parasparam. This world is a world of duality in contrast to the oneness of the absolute realm. The world of duality is composed of matter and spirit, and in absolute world, there is no material duality. So therefore, she is praying, please protect me. So in the previous chapter also, we saw when Shwathama, he shot Brahmastra, Arjuna also showed complete dependence on Krishna. He said that even if, so he just surrendered to Krishna. And even in Kurukshetra war, when Duryodhana and Arjuna both went to Krishna to ask for the help, Krishna first saw Arjuna because he was standing on the feet. And Duryodhana, he was so arrogant. He was standing, on near the head of Krishna. It is said that Duryodhana was so arrogant, he was so proud, he would not even allow umbrella to be on his head, even in the midday sun. Why? Because mere se upar umbrella bhi nahi hona chahiye, Even umbrella should not be above me. So when Krishna said, Arjuna, oh, why have you come? Please tell me. So Duryodhana said, Arre, I came here first. But Krishna said, okay, you came first, but I saw Arjuna first. And then he said, well, Arjuna is younger than you, right? छोटे लोगों को पहले मांगने देते हैं जो भी मांगना चाहिए. So he said, let Arjuna ask first. So then Arjuna, he knew. So then Krishna said, I will not fight. And on one side I am there, and on the other side my Chaturangini Sena, Narayani Sena is there. So Arjuna, I said, well, oh my lord, if you are not there, what will I do with your army? And Duryodhana, when he heard this, he was thinking, such a foolish person Arjuna is. Krishna is not going to fight. And he is choosing him. So that's how. Duryodhana, he was calculating all this. But Pandavas, they were dependent on Krishna in all circumstances. So that is the repeated thing which comes here. In every situation, Pandavas and the entire dynasty of Pandavas, they were dependent on Krishna. Abhidravati Mamisha
Abhidravati Mamisha
Sharastaptaya Shobha Vibho Kamam Dhatu Mam Natha Mame Garbho Nipataya Mame Garbho Nipatyatam.
Oh my Lord.
Oh my Lord, you are all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. My Lord, let it burn me personally. If you so desire, but please not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, oh my Lord.
So let me die, but my son should be saved. So Prabhupada writes a very interesting line here in the purport. Uttara, last line. Before that also, a statement for the mother of the child has a great responsibility in giving all protection to the child. And therefore, Uttara was not ashamed to express this frankly before Krishna. Uttara was daughter of a great king, wife of a great hero, student of a great devotee, and later she was the mother of a good king also. So who is a student? She was a student of a great devotee. Who is he? Anybody knows? Student of
Arjuna.
a great Arjuna, yes. So he taught her dance when he was in Agyatavas, and mother of Parikshit. So she was fortunate in all respects. Prabhupada writes the same thing about Devahuti also. Daughter of a great king, wife of a great devotee, and mother of the Lord himself. So daughter of Swayambhuva, wife of Kardama and mother of Kapila. So that's how Uttara was a very, very great devotee, very wonderful, very fortunate personality. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that, you are praying for your life. She says, no, I am not praying for my life. I am praying for the life of my son, because he will be a great devotee. Suta Uvacha Upadharya Vachastasya Bhagavan Bhaktavatsalaha
भगवान् भक्तवत्सलः
Apandavamidam kartum
अपाण्डवमिदं कर्तुं
Draunerastramabuddhyata.
द्रौणेरस्त्रं बुध्यता.
Sutta Goswami said, having patiently heard her words, Lord Sri Krishna, who is always very affectionate to his devotees, could at once understand that Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, had thrown the Brahmastra to finish the last life in the Pandava family.
Apandavamidam kartum. So Ashwatthama, he wanted to destroy the last descendant also. Pandavam, actually he wanted to destroy entire Pandavas, all Pandavas. So that's why he had shot 6 Brahmastras. Pandavam, he wanted to destroy all the Pandavas. But the most important word in this verse is Bhagwan Bhakta Vatsalaha. This is the theme of this episode. How Lord is so affectionate to his devotees, that he is ready to do anything for his devotees. He is ready to enter the womb of Uttara to protect Parikshit. So that's how Prabhupada writes in the purport that Lord is impartial, but still he is inclined towards his devotees, because there is a great necessity of this for everyone's well-being. Because when devotees are protected, then entire society will be protected. That's why Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to become king. Because when a devotee becomes a king, naturally, all the citizens, they will become devotees. And that is the purpose of Krishna. That's why Krishna appears in this world, to protect, to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. And to fulfill that, whoever assists Krishna in his mission, Krishna shows special mercy to that person. And the devotees of the Lord, because they are assisting in the mission of Krishna, they are very dear to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, which verse Krishna says, the devotees, those who preach this message, they are very dear to me. Anybody remembers the last, I think 18.69 or something. Yaidam paramam guhyam madbhakteshu abhidhasyati bhakti mai param kritva mameva shatya samshaya. Those who teach this knowledge to others, they will come to me for sure. There is nobody who is greater, more dear to me than this person. That's why Yudhishthira Maharaj was made king. So Prabhupada writes that. That was the reason he vanquished the rule of company of Duryodhana and established the rule of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Therefore, he also wanted to protect Maharaj Parikshit. So that is the purpose of Krishna's appearance in this world. And therefore, he is ready to do anything to install his devotees on the throne. Okay. So then, as he's seeing this powerful weapon coming, what is happening here? So all the Pandavas, they could also see that, okay, this weapon is coming. So all the Pandavas, they prepare themselves. Tarhi evat muni sreshta
Tarhi evada muni sreshta
Pandava pancha sayakan
पाण्डवान् पञ्चसायकान्
Atmanobhimukham diptan
Atmanobhimukham diptan
Alakshasthranyapadaduhu.
Alashyakshan ubadadu. O foremost among the great thinkers, Munis, Saunaka, seeing the glaring Brahmastra proceeding towards them, the Pandavas took up their 5 respective weapons. Hare Krishna.
So all the Pandavas, they also took their weapons, because not only they were, not only this womb was affected, all the Pandavas, they were also, about to be destroyed by this Brahmastra. So all of them took weapons. So Brahmastra, Prabhupada writes, Brahmastras are finer than the nuclear weapons. Ashwatthama discharged the Pandavas simply to discharge the Brahmastra simply to kill the Pandavas. Okay. So then Prabhupada describes the detail that atom bombs, when they are discharged, they can destroy everything indiscriminately. But the Brahmastras, they are finer weapons. They can be used to destroy even a womb or entire planet. Okay, question is, Mataji is asking, why Ashwatthama was not having the quality of Brahmana despite thus being of son of great Dronacharya? Yeah, it depends on the free will. Everybody has a free will and the past psychophysical nature which he has acquired. So depending on his free will, depending on his nature, he chose to act as a Kshatriya, not as a Brahmana. So taking birth in the family of Brahmana doesn't guarantee one that he will be a Brahmana. He has favorable circumstances, but if he uses his free will in another way, then it is his responsibility. So that's why Ashwatthama chose to be a Kshatriya. Okay, so 13th is a very important verse. Now Krishna is acting. All the Pandavas, they also took their weapons, but Krishna understood that they will not be able to protect Parikshit. So now Krishna is personally acting in the 13th verse. Vyasanam vikshya tattesham
Vyasanam Ishya Daksham
Ananya Vishayatmanam
Ananya Vishayatmanam
Sudarshanena Swastrena
Sudarshanena
Swanam Raksham Vyadhad Vibhuhu.
Swanam Raksham Vyadhad Vibhuhu.
The Almighty Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, having observed that a great danger was befalling his unalloyed devotees, who were fully surrendered souls, at once took up his Sudarshana disc to protect them.
So the Bhagwan is described as Bhakta Vatsala in the 11th verse. How he is Bhakta Vatsala, that is described in this verse. That he is ready to protect his devotees. He personally took this Sudarshan to protect the womb of Uttara. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, the word, after few lines Prabhupada writes, in the beginning Prabhupada describes this Brahmastra weapon. But then after, I think 15 lines, Prabhupada writes, the word Ananya Vishayatmanam is significant. The Pandavas were 100% dependent on the protection of the Lord, although they were all great warriors. But the Lord neglects even the greatest warriors and vanquishes them in no time. When the Lord saw that, there was no time for the Pandavas to counteract the Brahmastra. He took up his weapon, even at the risk of breaking his own vow. Although battle was almost finished, but according to his vow, he should not have taken his weapon. But the emergency was more important than the vow. That's how he is Bhaktavatsal. For devotees, Lord can do anything. For protection of devotees, he is ready to break all his vows, because this is the only vow which he follows. Which vow? Name Bhakta Pranashyati. This is the only vow which Krishna follows always. My devotee will never be destroyed. Oh Arjuna, declare boldly, Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. So he has taken a vow to protect his devotees. In Govardhan Leela, when all the Brajvasis, they are suffering because of the torrents of rains, thunderbolts. Everybody takes shelter of Krishna. Krishna, he's thinking, Tasman Masharanam Goshtam Mannatham Matparigraham Gopai Swatma Yogena Soyame Vratahita. So he says, he's thinking, Krishna is thinking, oh, just see, these are my people, my family, Mat Goshtam, Mannatham, they have accepted me as their master. Mat Parigraham, they have taken my shelter. Therefore, Gopai Swatma Yogena, I will protect them by my potency. Why? So ayam me vrat ahita. That is the vow I have taken. So therefore, Krishna only follows one vow to protect his devotees. That's all. All the other vows, they are secondary. This should give us lots of confidence and faith in protection. Kuch bhi hua, Krishna hai hamare saath na. We have Krishna with us. Why should we fear? Fear comes when we depend on our own strength. But when we depend on Krishna's protection, then there is complete fearlessness. Abhayam. Bhayam ditya abhiniveshatasya. Bhaya comes when we start identifying with things and people of the world. Oh, this will protect me. This will protect me. He will protect me. She will protect me. Second canto, there is a verse which comes, na? Deha apatya kalatra adishu atma sainyasu ashatsu api tesham pramatto nidhanam pashyan napi na pashyati. A person in this world thinks, my body will protect me, my family will protect me, my wife, my husband will protect me, my children will protect me, my wealth will protect me, but they are themselves fallible. He thinks these are my army, ye meri sena hai, but they are themselves fallible soldiers. Only Krishna can protect the devotees. So that's how, Krishna is so very eager to protect his devotees, and that is the confidence which we should have. He is better known as Bhaktavatsala, and thus he preferred to continue as Bhaktavatsala than to be a worldly moralist who never breaks his solemn vows. So he doesn't care about his vows. He cares about protecting devotees, that's all. So devotees, we are devotees, we are trying to be the devotees of Krishna. We should also, understand and inculcate this mood of Krishna. We should not be so much concerned with following the moral codes when the question comes between following the moral codes or bhakti. Bhakti karu ya moral codes follow karna hai. Of course, that does not give us the license to break the moral codes. Arey mujhe na program mein jaldi aana tha. I was coming to temple, so that's why I broke few traffic signals. What is the problem? Right? Chalta hai na? No. Emergencies, understood. But it should not become a regular thing. Exception should be exception only. It should not become a regular. Krishna also doesn't break his vows now and then. Only in difficult situations he breaks his vows. Just like Vasudev, he promised Kamsa, I will give the 8th son, but he didn't give. So that's how we have to understand. Devotees, they understand, they know that Krishna consciousness is the prime importance. It should be given priority. And to preach and to spread Krishna consciousness, sometimes, in some emergency situations, okay, some moral codes can be broken, but it should not become a regular issue. So that's how we have to understand. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, so we'll continue. 14th verse. Antastha sarva bhutanam Atma Yogeshwaro Harihi
Atma Yogeshwara
स्वमायया वृणोद्गर्भम् वैराट्या कुरुतन्तवे
The Lord of Supreme Mysticism, Sri Krishna, resides within the everyone's heart as the Paramatma. As such, just to protect the progeny of Kuru dynasty, he covered the embryo of Uttara by his personal energy. Hare Krishna.
Antasthu, sir, although he's situated in everyone's heart, Antastha Sarva Bhutanam, but Krishna, he expanded, he entered the womb of Uttara, Swamayaya, by his own energy. He's doing it personally, personally, Swamayaya. So, various places we find that Krishna protects his devotees personally. He never delegates this job to anyone else, because devotees are the personal family members of Krishna. A prime minister may delegate the caretaking of entire nation to his ministers, but he will personally take care of his family. He will not say, "Arey, inka bhi khayal main ministers ko hi deta hu, yahi." No, he personally takes care. So therefore, anybody who becomes devotee, Krishna personally, Swamayaya, by his own energy, he protected, he covered the womb of Uttara. Vairatya. Who is Vairatya? That is Uttara. Virat, the daughter of Virata. So he covered the womb of Uttara by his own personal energy. He did it himself. So that's how protecting the devotees is more important for Krishna than protecting his own image. Oh, log kya kahenge? Oh, I am not following my vows. Oh, Krishna doesn't care about that. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also writes the same thing in the 13th verse purport. In 13th verse commentary said, Ashwatthama had released 5 separate Brahmastras for each of the Pandavas. And therefore, it was difficult for them to counteract their Brahmastra, which was coming towards them, and then the Brahmastra, which was coming towards the womb of Uttara. So although Lord, he had renounced all the weapons, but he protected his devotees. He personally protected he destroyed all the Brahmastras personally by his Sudarshan. That is a quality of Krishna. He likes to be controlled by devotees and he likes to protect his devotees. Krishna may have many plans, but if the devotee wants something, Krishna changes all his plans. Krishna cannot do anything. If a pure devotee wants to do something, just like in Damodar Leela, Krishna had his plans for the day ready. Okay, I'll go and steal butter from this place, and then I'll go and dance with the gopis, I'll play with cowherd boyfriends. But when Yashoda, she tried to bind him, because Krishna had his plans ready. So his Vibhuti Shakti and Satya Sankalpa Shakti, they were not allowing him to be bound. But when Krishna, he saw such intense endeavor on part of Yashoda. Somatu Svinnagatraya Visrishta Kavarasraja Drishtva Parishramam Krishnam Kripayasit Spavandani. So the foremost of the Shaktis of Krishna, that is Kripa Shakti. Kripa Shakti is a queen. She is the queen of all the Shaktis. When Kripa Shakti comes, everybody else moves behind. So that's how Krishna, he is controlled by his devotees and he gives up his plans just to serve the devotees. So Krishna, he protected the womb of Uttara by his own powers. So Prabhupada writes that Krishna is Supreme Lord, as Paramatma in everyone's heart. Therefore, from within the body of Uttara, he covered the embryo to save Parikshit. Actually, it is said that Parikshit was actually dead already. Because of the fire of Brahmastra, he actually had died. Krishna revived him back. So that is the power of Krishna. Okay, now 15th and 16th verses describe how Lord has inconceivable powers to protect his devotees. When Lord wants to protect, nobody can destroy. Yadyapyastram brahmashiras, yadyapyastram brahmashira,
यद्यप्यस्त्र ब्रह्मशिरः
tvamogham cha pratikriyam,
त्वमोघं चाप्यतिक्रियम्
vaishnavam tejamasadya,
वैष्णवं तेज आसाद्य
tamashamyad bhrigudvaha.
O Shaunak, although the supreme Brahmastra weapon released by Sattama was irresistible and without check or counteranswer. It was neutralized and foiled when confronted by the strength of the Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yadyapi, although Brahma Astra, Brahmashira, Brahmastra is not an ordinary weapon, nobody can counteract it. Supreme, it is supreme. It was released by Shottam. Amogha, Amogha means irresistible. And Apcha Apratikriya, nobody can counteract this. But in front of the Lord, who can stay? Vaishnava Tejam Asadya. In front of Krishna's power, everything is useless. In front of Krishna's will, no other will prevails. Krishna is a supreme transcendental autocrat. When he wants to do something, nobody can change it. And if he doesn't want to do it, nobody can make it happen. If Krishna wants to protect somebody, nobody can kill him. Balasya neha sharanam pitarau narasimha nartasya chagadam udanvati majjato nau taptasya tat pratividhirya ihanja shishta tavad vibhotan vritam tadupekshitana. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, oh my Lord, if you neglect somebody, then he cannot be protected by anyone in this world. Even children cannot be protected by their parents. A doctor cannot protect the patient. A boat cannot take a person across the ocean if you neglect him. So that's how Lord's power is irresistible and inconceivable. So Prabhupada writes, Krishna was not waiting for anyone else to help because he is all powerful. He himself, he protected Parikshit. Mamamstha yetadascharyam.
Namaskam etadacharyam
Sarvascharyamayetyute.
सर्वाश्चर्यमयच्युते
Yaidam maya devya.
देव्या
Srijatavati hantyajaha.
सृजत्यवति हन्तज
Brahmanas do not think this to be especially wonderful in the activities of the mysterious and infallible personality of Godhead. By his own transcendental energy, he maintains and annihilates all material things, although he himself is unborn.
So this is nothing for Krishna. He is maintaining, creating and destroying entire universe. So he is a controller of entire cosmic manifestation. These are small incidents in one, insignificant universe. So in a breath of Mahavishnu, entire Brahma's life is going. What is the big thing for Krishna if he protected Parikshit Maharaj? So Prabhupada writes, the activities of the Lord are always inconceivable to the tiny brain. Nothing is impossible for the Lord, but all his actions are wonderful. And thus he is always beyond the range of our conceivable limits. Nobody can understand the Lord. So similarly, after protecting Krishna, Parikshit Maharaj, again he was about to depart for Dwarka. Translation, 17th verse. Somebody can read.
Thus saved from the radiation of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons, and Draupadi addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home.
So, Prabhupada writes a very, very brilliant line in the purport here. He says, Kunti, she is described as Sati. Idamaha Pritha Sati. So, as now Krishna is about to depart, Kunti comes. She is described as Sati. Why? She has unalloyed devotion. A chaste devotee of the Lord does not look to others, even for deliverance from danger. So our chastity towards Krishna, our chastity towards the practice of devotional service will be tested in times of calamity. How chaste we are. Tests will come. Do we question Krishna? Do we question the power and the strength of Krishna consciousness? Or we just accept whatever comes in our life as, okay, Krishna has orchestrated this in my life. So our chastity is tested. Or should we take shelter of other things? Should we take shelter of other paths? That is tested in times of calamity. When calamity comes, we should not take shelter of Krishna. Of course, we can take help of things, but taking shelter is different than using things. Just like if somebody falls sick, even though we may be taking shelter of Krishna, but we go to doctors, we use the medicines, take it and get treated so that we can serve Krishna properly. We are not taking shelter of the medicines, we are not taking shelter of the doctors, we are taking shelter of Krishna, and we are using whatever is helping us to take shelter of Krishna. That is the very thin line we have to understand. When we take help of the other things of the world, we should understand that these are not my shelter. These are not going to help me in the long run. They are just helping me to take to Krishna consciousness properly. That is a devotee. That is a mature devotee. He is not a fanatic. A mature devotee uses things to serve Krishna. What is that called technically? Anybody would like to tell me? Use things, whatever is available to serve Krishna.
Yukta Vairagya.
That is called as Yukta Vairagya.
Yukta Vairagya.
Yes. So therefore, we should not be fanatical. Nani, will not take this. Even if something is happening, I'll not use this. Or if you use this, you can serve Krishna properly. So chastity is very important. We should never lose our chastity towards Krishna. Krishna is our shelter. And calamities will test our chastity. So Prabhupada writes, that was all along the characteristic of the whole family of Pandavas. They were chaste, sati. They never ever turned away from Krishna. Throughout the 12 years of Vanvas, Krishna came only 2-3 times to meet them. They never complained to Krishna, we are your unalloyed devotees. Why are you putting us in this situation? They never complained, they never questioned Krishna. On the contrary, when Krishna came to, when Duryodhana sent Durvasa Muni with all his disciples, and he told that you go when Draupadi is eaten from her plate, from this Akshay Patra. So all the rishis, they approached, Durvasa Muni approached there. And Draupadi, she had just eaten. So she was thinking, oh my Lord, I'm not able to serve these sages properly. And as she's thinking like this, Krishna appears and he says, I am hungry, please give me something. So she's not thinking, एक तो हम लोग जंगल में बैठे और इतना प्रॉब्लम, अब आप भी आके और परेशान करें. She's never thinking like this. She is feeling, oh, I am not able to give anything to Krishna. That is a devotee. They never complain, why are you putting me in this situation? Chaste, always chaste. They knew nothing except Krishna. He reciprocates the dependence of the devotees. One should not therefore look for help from imperfect living beings or devatas. One should look for all help from Krishna. That is a devotee. That is a chaste devotee. Okay, now the first beautiful section of verses are coming. First prayers, second set of prayers in Bhagavatam. Actually, all the prayers of Kunti Maharani, all verses are worth memorizing. You know, beautiful prayers. So Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, she addresses the Lord. She tells, oh my Lord, you are not my nephew, you are the Supreme Lord. Although Krishna is nephew of Kunti, but she is telling, no, you are not my nephew, you are the Supreme. Kunti uvacha.
Kunti uvacha.
Namaste Purusham Tvadyam.
Namaste Purusham Tvadyam.
Ishwaram Prakrite Param.
Ishwaram Prakrite Param.
Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam.
Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam.
Antarbahiravastitam.
Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything. Yet you are invisible to all.
Namaste. O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you. Purusham. You are the Purusham. You are a personality. So she's offering her obeisances. So seeing what Krishna has done recently, she is really unable to tolerate the agitation. And therefore she approaches Krishna with great respect. Because just now Krishna has protected the last descendant of Pandavas. So with great respect, she is approaching Krishna. And she is praising Krishna. Namaste, I offer my obeisances. Krishna will say, Namaste, Are, I am your nephew. Why are you offering respects? No, you are not my nephew. You are Purusham. You are the persons. So Krishna will say, of course, I am a Purusham. I am a man. There is no doubt about that. She says, no. You are Adyam Purusham. You are the Adi Purusha. You are the original personality. You are the first one. So Krishna will say, well, all the Purushas, they come and go. All souls are original only. All souls are Adyam only. So what is the difference between me and the other souls? You are Ishvara. You are the supreme controller. Acha. There are many controllers in this universe. Indra, Chandra. They are also controllers. He says, no. You are the Prakrite Param. You are superior to Prakriti. Krishna says, Acha, so am I that Purusha within? Am I Paramatma? He says, no, Alakshyam. You are not visible to anyone. So am I Brahman? You are saying I am not visible to everyone. Am I Brahman? He says, no, you are situated externally and internally both. So you are a person. So that's how Chakravarti Thakur analyzes the first prayer of Kunti Maharani very nicely. So Prabhupada writes, Srimati Kunti was quite aware that Krishna is supreme, although he was praying the part of her nephew. Such and enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances unto her nephew. So Krishna is original, Adi Purusha. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, quotes this verse from 15th chapter. Sarvasya chaham riddhi sannivishto mattas pratir jnanam apohanam cha. I am situated in everyone's heart. I am the Ishvara. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. So Queen Kunti affirms that Lord, although within and without, is still invisible. Lord is, so to speak, puzzle for common man. So therefore, nobody can understand how Lord is working. Prabhupada writes, in fact, he is all pervasive and localized. He is both. He reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. Which verse is this? So Bhagavad Gita verse. He reserves the right of not being exposed. Anybody can find out?
Avajananti Mamudu.
Okay. There is one more verse. Naham prakasha sarvasya. I am not exposed to people. Yoga maya samavritaha. I cover myself by my potency. This curtain is called as maya, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious souls. That is explained here. So Kunti Maharani, she tells, okay, you are situated internally and externally, antarvairavastitam. So Krishna may say, if I am inside also and outside also, why nobody is approaching me? So Kunti Maharani tells the next verse. She tells that, you are dressed like an actor. Therefore, it is very difficult to understand you. Maya Javanika Channam
Maya
Javanika Channam
Agyadhokshajam Avyayam Na Lakshase Mudhadrisha Nato Natya Dharo Yatha.
Being beyond the range of limited sense, you are the eternally irreproachable factors covered by the curtain of eluding energy. You are invisible to the police observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Hare Krishna.
Maya Javanikachanam, you are covered by a curtain of illusory energy. Agya Adhokshaja, you are Adhokshaja. So Akshaja means the senses. Adhokshaja means who cannot be approached by the senses. Agya Adhokshaja, you are beyond the perception of limited senses. And you are avyaya, you are eternal, irreproachable factor. Therefore, na lakshyase, who cannot see you? Mudhas, avajananti mama mudha, foolish, ignorant people, they can never know you because you are dressed as an actor. A perfect actor means when he appears on the stage, nobody is able to understand, or he's the same person, he is acting like this. They completely forget that person, and the audience, they are absorbed in the character. They can't recognize that this person is ye to uska bhai hai, ye to uska beta hai. No, he is that character there. He is nobody else. That's how when Krishna appears, he performs his role so nicely. All the actors and actresses of this world, they are nothing in front of Krishna's acting. When Krishna plays the role, he does it perfectly. Whatever Krishna does is perfect. Nato Natya Dharo Yatha, you are exactly an actor dressed as a player. So Lord, he performs inconceivable acts, which people, they can never understand how he's doing this. Just like, Prabhupada quotes this verse, Avajananti Mam Mudha. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna affirms that a less intelligent person mistake him to be an ordinary man like us, and thus they deride him. Okay. When Lord himself appears among us as Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, he performs many wonderful acts which are humanly impossible. As we shall find in the 10th canto, Lord Krishna played his humanly impossible pastimes even from the days of his lying on the lap of his mother. When Putana came as a small boy, few days old boy, he killed Putana. He sucked the life air out of Putana. Who can do this? Only Krishna can do this. He picked up an entire Govardhan like a mushroom. So Prabhupada writes all this. You know, when Krishna appears...
Your voice is very low.
Oh, sorry. When Krishna appears, he performs so many pastimes which are really wonderful. And that creates, disturbance in the minds of ordinary people. That's why when Shishupal, he would always criticize Krishna. He would say, Arey, people say Krishna lifted Govardhan, he just lifted a mound of earth. Arey, he subdued Kaliya. Arey, he was just playing with a small water snake and they call it Kaliya. So our acharyas say actually Shishupal is saying right. You know how? In compared to entire cosmic manifestation, what is Govardhan? It is a small mound of earth only. In compared to Sheshanag, what is Kaliya? A small water snake. So that's how, Krishna does so many wonderful pastimes. And then Prabhupada writes, these are some of the superhuman activities of the Lord described in the Puranas. And he has delivered wonderful instructions in shape of Bhagavad Gita. He has shown marvelous capacity as a hero, as a householder, as a teacher, as a renouncer. He is accepted as supreme by authorities like Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Narada. Which verse in Bhagavad Gita says this? Krishna is accepted as a supreme personality by Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Narada.
Paramdhama.
Okay, आगे. Okay, yes. Ahus tvam rishayas sarve devarshi naradas tatha asito devalo vyasa swayam chaiva bravishime. That's what Prabhupada is paraphrasing here. So all these big personalities, they declare, and he has declared himself. So Prabhupada writes, but some people are so stubborn, they will never accept Krishna, even though Krishna performs so many pastimes. Another difficulty is that those who depend more on their imperfect senses cannot realize him as a supreme. Such persons are like the modern scientists. So we cannot see Krishna and understand Krishna by our limited senses. Our senses are limited. Our eyes only visible Vibgyor. Our ears only 20 to 20,000 hertz. We can smell limited, things. We can see, we can hear limited things only. This limited perception, we cannot see unlimited. Adhokshaja. So Lord is beyond the observation of sense perception. So Kunti accepts this deficiency of the conditioned soul, especially of the women class who are less intelligent. So although she calls herself less intelligent and a woman in the next verse, but her prayers are so great and so exalted that, great sages, they are singing her prayers. That is her humility. So that's how Kunti Maharani is praying. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur analyzes this prayer. She says, oh, you are covered by curtain of Maya. Maya Javanika. Javanika means curtain. So Krishna means, Acha, that means Maya covers me. She says, no, 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 no. Only a fool thinks like this. It is like sun which is covered by cloud. Sun can never gets covered by cloud. The vision of the person who is below, that gets covered. And then she says, and therefore I do not have the power to contact you because I have these material senses which are very limited. How can I understand you? So Krishna will say, Acha, Ara, you are seeing me directly, right? You are praising me, you are seeing me. So why are you criticizing yourself as being ignorant? Because she is criticizing, she is telling herself as ignorant. Mudha Drisha, how can I am an insignificant woman, I am an ignorant person. How can I know you? So, Nato Natya Dharo Yathaso. She says, no, 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 actually. And because Krishna says, Are, you are not ignorant. You know all the details. Nato Natya Dharo Yatha. So Kunti Maharani says, no, but when you do something, it is very difficult to understand. It is like, the person who is ignorant of the various things of classical dance, just like in Bharatnatyam or in some of the South Indian dance, there are various hand movements. And the person who is expert in that, he will be in ecstasy seeing, or ye emotion, ye gesture kiya. But the person who doesn't know, he is thinking, kya chal raha hai, aisa haath kar raha hai, waisa haath kar raha hai, kya chal raha hai? So therefore, a person who is unaware of Krishna consciousness, for him, Krishna's name, form, pastimes, they are always a mystery. So therefore, Kunti says, similarly, although I see you, but I do not see you. I am like that, ignorant person who is seeing a dance but doesn't know what is happening there. So she is telling like this, that although you protect the Pandavas, they are your devotees, you protected Pandavas, you personally counteracted the weapons of Ashwathama, that is very amazing. And you took a vow to not to take weapons, but still you took weapons. You protect the religious and pious people, but still you destroyed Bhishma. You are such a great devotee. He was a righteous person. And you are affectionate to Draupadi, but still you allowed her sons to be killed. You are affectionate to Subhadra, you allowed her son to be killed. So I am getting confused. Wow, what is your nature? Sometimes you are behaving like this, sometimes you are behaving like this. So nobody can understand you. So that's how Kunti Maharani is expressing her ignorant condition out of her humility. Okay. Bhagavatam also describes Kritavan kil karamani saharamena keshava ati martyani bhagavan gudha kapatamanushaha. Kapatamanusha. And Krishna appears as a human form. He acts in so many ways that can deceive ordinary people. And then Kunti Maharani expresses her humility. I am just an ordinary woman. How can I understand you? Tatha Paramahamsanam Munina Mamalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Katham Pashyemahi Striyah.
You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Right.
Tatha Paramahamsanam. She's saying only Paramahamsas can know you. Muninam, those who are mental speculators, those who are purified souls, Amalatmanam, those who are Paramhamsas, Those who are Paramhamsas, those who are Munis, those who are Amalatma, they can understand you. Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham. And you descend to propagate. I'll just put everybody to mute. Please don't unmute yourself because some disturbance is coming. If you want to speak something, please unmute yourself. Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham. You yourself descend to propagate the science of devotional service. Bhakti Yoga Vidhan Artha. How can I understand? I am an insignificant woman. Katham pashyemahi striyaha. So only when Lord shows mercy, he can be understood. Without mercy of the Lord, nobody can understand him. Athapite deva padambuja dvaya prasadaleshanugrihita evahi. Na janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno na chanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. Only one who has received a drop of the mercy of the Lord, they can know him. Padambuja dvaya prasad. Those who have received lesh, a drop of the mercy of the lotus feet of the Lord, they can understand. Janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno. Otherwise, nobody can understand. So therefore, she is saying, how can I understand? I am an insignificant woman. Only Paramahamsas understand you. Only Munis. Only Amalatma. I don't have a pure heart. That is her humility. She is telling Prabhupada. It's a very nice purport. Even the great, somebody can read this purport.
Even the greatest philosophical speculators cannot have access to the region of the Lord. It is said in the Upanishads that the supreme truth, the absolute personality of Godhead, is beyond the range of the thinking power of the greatest philosopher.
So the first line is a verse from Bhagavad Gita. Anybody can guess? Even the greatest philosophers, greatest rishis, devatas cannot understand you. Cannot understand me, Krishna says. Name vidu surgana prabhavam na maharshaya. Nobody can understand. Is beyond the range of thinking. Is adhokshaja. Yes, Prabhuji, continue.
He is unknowable by great learning or by greatest brain. He is knowable only by one who has his mercy. Others may go on thinking about him for years together, yet he is unknowable. This very fact is corroborated by the queen who is playing the part of an innocent woman. Women in general are unable to speculate like philosophers, but they are blessed by the Lord because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and thus they offer obeisance without reservation. The Lord is so kind that he does not show special favor only to one who is a great philosopher. He knows the sincerity of purpose. For this reason only, women generally assemble in great number in any sort of religious function. In every country and in every sect of religion, it appears that the women are more interested than the men. This simplicity of acceptance of the Lord's authority is more effective than insincere religious fervor.
Yes. So this sincere simplicity of acceptance, if you just accept Krishna simply, then it is much more, effective than showy religious fervor. If somebody is making a show of devotion, if somebody is, giving intellectual discourses, but he doesn't have faith in Krishna, he doesn't have dependence on Krishna, he cannot accept Krishna as a supreme, although he is giving such big discourses, then it will be useless. That's how the ladies, especially here, Kunti Maharani, although she is expressing herself as a very unintelligent person, but she is the greatest of the devotees. In the 10th chapter, this first canto, it will come when Krishna departs from Hastinapur. All the ladies of Hastinapur, they climb on their roof tops, and they are discussing about Krishna, because ladies, they cannot come and mix with the people in general. They cannot come on the roads. So they climb on the rooftops and they are speaking about Krishna. Sut Goswami speaks one beautiful verse. Anyonyamasit sanjalpa uttama shloka chetasam kauravendra puraistrinam sarva shruti manoharaha. They are discussing among themselves, when ladies they talk, many times the talks are not so great. Most of the times when ladies, for that matter anybody, when they are informally meeting, they don't talk some big philosophical subject matters. And these ladies, they are also talking, but these talks, because they are related to Krishna, and these devotees, these ladies, they are absorbed, their minds are absorbed in Krishna. Uttama shloka chetasa. Therefore, Kauravendra Pura Stri Nam, all these talks of the ladies of Hastinapur, they are better than the hymns of the Vedas. Sarva Shruti Manohara. So therefore, devotion does not depend on caste, creed, gender, place, whoever you may be. It depends on devotional sentiments. So that's how devotion transcends everything. Kirat, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Shumbha, Yavana, Kasadaya, Yanyecha Papa, Yadapa, Shraya, Shraya. Whoever you may be, all the lower castes, if they take shelter of Krishna, they get purified. So that is the glory of Krishna consciousness. And then she continues. She tells, actually, my brother and sister-in-law, they are fortunate. She tells, Krishnaya Vasudevaya,
Krishnaya Vasudevaya,
Devaki Nandanaya Cha,
Devaki Nandanaya cha,
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya,
Narayan,
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd men of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses.
So here Kunti Maharani is giving, describing the fortune of various people. The gradation of fortune she is describing. She's saying, Krishnaya, oh Krishna, let me offer my obeisances. Namo Namaha. You are Vasudevaya. First, you are son of Vasudeva. Then Devaki is more fortunate because she, you are there in her womb for so many 9 months. Devaki Nandanaya cha. Even more fortunate than Devaki is Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. And then she is not mentioning the name of Yashoda. She mentioned that in the after few verses. She mentioned the name of Yashoda in 30. One of the verses she is mentioning the name of Yashoda. Yatharishi. Gopyadade Tvai Kritagasi Dam Tavad Yate Dashashru. Yeah, 31st verse. She is mentioning the name of Yashoda there. So she mentions Vasudev, son of Vasudev, Devaki Nandan, Nandanandan, and Yashoda. She mentions these 4 personalities. She doesn't mention gopis. Because, Chakravarti Thakur gives 3 reasons. Because of confidentiality. Because the pastimes of Krishna with gopis are very confidential and they are very esoteric. And she feels herself not qualified to taste that rasa. These are all Madhurya Leela. And she is Vatsalya. She is in Vatsalya Bhav. So therefore, she doesn't take the name of the gopis. Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. So there are some technical details about, the various stages of Krishna's life. Generally, Kumar means till which age is Kumar? Kaumara Acharet Pragyo. What is Kaumara age? Till what?
Until the age of 5.
At the age of 5, yes. Krishna finishes this Kaumara at the age of 3 years, 4 months. He does it quickly, all this. So generally, one completes Kaumar at the age of 5. Krishna completed Kaumar at the age of 3 years and 4 months. Then Pauganda means 6 to 10. Krishna completed that Pauganda when he was 6 years. And Kaishore means 11 to 15. Krishna, he completed Kaishore by 11 years. And so after that, he was Yauvana. So Kaumara pastimes, Nanda, Gopa, Kumaraya. So Kumara Leela, they are more sweet than even Yauvan Leela. Because in Yauvan Leela, Krishna was not in Vrindavan. In Yauvan Leela, Krishna was in Mathura. So therefore, she is relishing those Kaumar pastimes where Krishna performed pastimes with the gopis. So that's how. So Kaumar Leelas are more sweet than Yauvan, but Kaishore are more sweet than Kumar. That's how she is telling the gradation of fortune. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation and descent of Krishna above all the incarnations because in this incarnation is more approachable. Krishna Rayateka Khela Sarvottama Nara Lila Naravapu Tahara Swarup Gopavesha Venukara Navakishora Natavara Nara Lila Hoy Anurup. So that's how of all the various avatars of Krishna, Krishna's avatar as a human, Sarvottama Nara Lila, that is the best. Because a human being can relate to other human being the best. Not to a tortoise, not to a fish, not to a boar. He can relate to other human the best. Athanyadapi Krishnasya Toka Charitam Adbhutam Manusham Rupam Asadya Tatjati Anurundhata. And of all the pastimes which Krishna performed in earth as a human, the childhood pastimes are the sweetest. Toka, because everybody likes, small children, they are so beautiful, so sweet. When Krishna appears as a child, it is unimaginable. So that's how, the pastimes of Krishna are amazing. So Prabhupada writes, in the Ram incarnation, he remained as a king's son, but as the incarnation of Krishna, although he was a son of a king, but he left shelter of his real father and mother and went to Braja and performed so many childhood pastimes. Therefore, Krishna is more merciful. He was undoubtedly very kind to Vasudeva and family. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Queen Kunti could not claim him to be her nephew. But Nanda and Yashoda are more fortunate because Krishna performed his childhood pastimes there. That is the question which Parikshit Maharaj asks in the 7th chapter of the 10th canto. What did this Nanda and Yashoda do that they are getting chance to feed Krishna, play with Krishna? Nanda kimakarod brahman shreya eva mahodayam Yashodacha mahabhaga papo yasya stanam hare. What austerities they must have performed. So that is the glory of the Braja Leela. They are so amazing. Vrindavanam sakhi bhuvo vitanoti kirtim yat devaki sutapadam bhujalabda lakshmihi. So the gopis, they are discussing, this Vrindavan has increased the glory of Mother Earth. Because here, Devaki Sutta, Krishna is moving even without wearing slippers. That is the glory of Vrindavan. Therefore, there is no parallel of childhood pastimes exhibited in Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Brajabhumi, especially the cowherd girls who dedicated their everything for the satisfaction of Krishna. Aradhya Bhagwan Brajeshutanya Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Brajavadhu. The gopis are most fortunate. When Krishna enters Mathura, all the ladies of Mathura, they are thinking the same thing. The gopiyon ne kya tapasya kiya? They are looking at the beautiful face of Krishna every day. Gopya tapakhimacharam yadamushya rupam lavanya saramasamordhamananya siddham. What tapasya they must have done? They are drinking the beauty of Krishna. Drigbhi pibanti anusava. They are drinking the beauty of Krishna through their eyes every day. So that is how the gopis are most fortunate. They are always thinking about Krishna. Whatever they were doing, they were only thinking of Krishna while milking cows, while taking care of the children, while smearing cow dung, while swinging in the swing, while feeding the children, whatever, even while selling butter. There is a beautiful stanza in this Bill Mangal Thakur's Govind Damodar Stotra. A gopi, she is selling butter, and instead of calling butter lelo, but take butter, she's calling Govinda Damodar Madhav. I'm just not remembering the verse. Very beautiful. Okay, yes. That's how whatever they are doing, they are thinking of Krishna. There's a beautiful Bhagavatam verse. Ya dohane avahanane mathano palepa Renkhen khanar varuditokshanam Gayanti chayanamanurakta dhiyo ashrukanto Dhanya brajastriya urukramachittayana. Dohane, while milking the cows. Avahanane means threshing the grains. Mathano, while churning butter. Upalepa, smearing cow dung on the walls. Renkhen khana, while swinging. Arbharuditakshan, while taking care of the crying children. Gayanti, they are always singing of Krishna's glories. That is how the gopis are fortunate. So Krishna, Kunti Maharani is remembering all these beautiful pastimes, and then she glorifies Krishna even more. Namaha Pankajanaabhaya.
Namaha Pankajanaabhaya.
Namaha Pankajamaline.
Namaha Pankajamaline.
Namaha Pankajanetraya.
Namaha
Pankajanetraya.
Namaste Pankajanghraye.
Namaste Pankajanghraye.
My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses.
So after telling that Vasudeva is fortunate, Devaki is fortunate, Nanda Maharaj is fortunate, Yashoda is fortunate, then she says, I am also fortunate. You know why? Because I am taking darshan of your beautiful form. Namaha Pankaja Nabhaya, your lotus navel. I offer obeisances to that. Pankaja Maline. There are 8 parts of Krishna's body which are compared to lotus. Can anyone tell all 8? Not in group. Just try. Okay, whatever. Starting with lotus feet. Okay, lotus eyes.
Palm.
Palm is not compared with hands are compared with lotus.
Hand.
Yes.
Nabhal.
So Netra Nabhi Vadan Karayug Charan. Netra Nabhi Vadan Karayug Charan. ei ashtapadma krishna ange karpura kamal karpura lipta kamala tara yaiche parimala sei gandha ashtapadma ange. So the 8 parts of Krishna's body, they are compared to lotus. Netra, 2 eyes, nabhi, navel, vadan, face, karayuga, 2 hands, and 2 legs, karayuga charan. And from all the bodily parts of Krishna, a beautiful fragrance comes. What is that fragrance? Karpur lipt kamal. The fragrance of lotus mixed with camphor. That is how Krishna is so very fragrant. So Prabhupada writes, here are some of the specific symbolical marks on the body of Krishna, which distinguish his body from the bodies of others. So Kunti claims herself to be unfit to see the Lord, but she is actually seeing the Lord. She is the most fortunate lady. Then Prabhupada describes about Pankajanabi and how Krishna appears in beautiful form so that devotees and yogis, they can meditate on his beautiful form. Therefore, Lord is merciful to everyone. And especially Prabhupada focuses that Lord appears in the form of Archa Vigraha. And that's how he is merciful to everyone. Anybody can come to temple and take darshan of the Lord. And then he says one should not try to look at the lotus face of the Lord directly. One should gradually go from the feet to the face. So Srimati Kunti, why she starts with at the navel? Generally when you're offering obeisances, you should start from the feet, right? But why she's offering obeisances from navel? Then in the end she comes to Anghay. Because she doesn't want to embarrass Krishna. If the aunt is offering obeisances at the lotus feet, anybody will be embarrassed, right? So she does not want that, oh, Krishna will feel ashamed. So therefore she begins from the lotus navel, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, Prabhupada writes. And then ultimately she ends at the lotus feet. And then she is remembering that, I am more fortunate than Devaki. Vasudeva is fortunate, Devaki is fortunate, Nanda, Yashoda fortunate. I am also fortunate, but then she says, I am more fortunate than Devaki. You know why? You saved my sons. You didn't save the sons of Devaki. Yatha Rishikesha Khalena Devaki.
Yatha Rishikesha Khalena Devaki.
Kamsena Ruddhati Chiram Sucharpita. Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho. Tvayeva nathena muhur vipadganat.
O Rishikesha, Master of the senses and Lord of Lords, you have released your mother, Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious king and me and my children on the series of constant anger. Hare Krishna.
O Rishikesha, Yatha Rishikesha, you are the master of the senses, you are the lords of the lords. Khalena, Devaki, she was imprisoned by Khala, by Kamsa, who was a Khala. And you released her. Vimochita, you released her. And you released me also, along with my children. Vimochita aham cha sah atmaja. She's telling you released Devaki, but you didn't protect her sons. But you released me and you protected my sons also. Series of dangers, so many calamities came. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that I was rescued from danger along with my sons. What was the reason? Why you showed special mercy to me? You did not protect Devaki's other children. Why you protected me? She gives 10 reasons. Chakravarti Thakur gives 10 reasons. Anybody would like to guess? Now, why she's telling her, why you protected my sons and not sons of Devaki?
Because Devaki had Vasudeva, but Kunti Maharani lost Pandu mother.
Yes, that is one of the reasons. Her husband was still there. Vasudeva was there, but Nathena, in every word, it says Nathena. My Natha was not there, therefore you protected me. Any other reasons? She says, actually, I was more afflicted by my karma. Suchar Pita, I was more disturbed because of my karma. Therefore, you showed more mercy to me. And that's why I was more suffering, even more than Devaki. She was suffering, but I was suffering more. She had husband, I had no husband. Therefore, you protected me and my sons. Because she had her husband, she could have got more children. But my husbands were not there. My husband was not there. So therefore, you protected my sons also. And since when you are there, what is the need of all other children to be protected? You are the crest among all the children. So therefore, you didn't protect the sons, other sons. And then he says that, moreover, I was again and again saved from series of dangers, whereas she was saved from only one little danger caused by Kamsa. Hey, Kamsa, thoda sa ek baar ek jail mein dala na. I was going through so many calamities. And that's what she will tell. She will tell in the next verse. What all calamities she went through. So sixth reason, Chakravarti Thakur says, she had not even a trace of danger since she was happy with repeated expectations. She was, Devaki was expecting that, okay, Krishna will come. That expectation destroyed all her, danger, all her fear. Krishna will come and protect me. And after all, when you were born, there was no danger at all. So in this way, she's saying, in all ways, I was more wretched. Therefore, you protected me because you are a friend of the fallen. The word used is? Okay, he's not using any particular word. You are the friend of the most fallen. Therefore, you protected me. And lastly, she tells that Devaki had love for you. I didn't have that love for you, so therefore you showed more mercy to me. I was not so fortunate like Devaki. So these are the various reasons. So Prabhupada also writes that Kunti, she was shown more favor because Devaki's husband was alive. The conclusion is that Krishna endows more favor to a devotee who is in greater danger. So that's how Krishna, he puts his devotees in dangers many times so that they can turn to Krishna helplessly. Of course, that doesn't happen to everyone. He doesn't give that special mercy to everyone. That he reserves for only selected people who can handle that. कृपा लेने के लिए भी उतना शक्ति होना चाहिए. रबड़ी बच्चे को पिलाएंगे तो लूज मोशन हो जाएगा नहीं. So that's how Krishna reserves his special mercy only for his pure devotees. Yasyaham anugrahinami harishyetad dhanam shanai. That happens only with pure devotees. Because if just imagine if a new sadhaka is coming and he started chanting and then series of calamities come. बोले यार ये बीडबैग आप ही संभालो मैं जा रहा हूँ. Already problem था, मैं तो सोच के आया था थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे आके तो और बढ़ गया है. So therefore Krishna never ever gives more miseries to a new person. Sometimes he put his pure devotees in such dangers because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached. The more the attachment, the more success. That's how. In Kaliya Leela, why Krishna was dancing for so long time? इतना देर तक क्यों डांस किया? पहले ही मार देते. He wanted to increase the eagerness of the Brajvasis because they were really helplessly crying and fainting. And when Krishna realized, Ab agar maine nahi band kiya to they will die, then he came out of the clutches of Kalia and then he started dancing. Till that point, Krishna likes to see his devotees, eagerness. That's how Krishna is. And that's what he tells to Narad Muni also. Why you cannot sing in this lifetime? Just to increase your eagerness. Okay. So she continues. The series of dangers. What all dangers came in the life of Kunti Maharani and Pandavas? Vishan Mahagne Purushad Darshanad. Asat Sabhaya Vanavas Prichrataha. Mridhe Mridhe Nek Maharathastrato. Draunyastratascha Hare Virakshitaha.
My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from a poisoned snake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwatthama.
So now she is recounting so many problems which came in the life of Kunti Maharani and Pandavas. And actually, in all this, Kunti Maharani was suffering the most. Because parents, they suffer more when the children are in pain. Children may be going through physical pain, but the mental pain is greater. That's why Kunti Maharani was suffering throughout. And so many things, list of dangers. So Prabhupada explains all these dangers. And then she tells, actually, these dangers are blessings to me. They are not problem, they are blessings. Vipada santuta shashvat.
Vipada santuta
Tatra tatra jagadguru.
Tatra jagadguru.
Bhavato darshanam yatsat. Punar bhavadarshanam.
I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see the repeated birth and death.
So she's saying, oh, please give me more calamities. So whenever we pray, we recite this verse, हम लोग पहले बोलते हैं मेरा नहीं है, ये कुंती महारानी की प्रार्थना है. This is not my prayer. We cannot handle even whatever is coming because of our karma. बोले और दो तो मतलब हरि बोल. विपदा संतुता शश्वत. Please give me more calamities constantly. Shashwat. Again and again. Tatra tatra jagadguru. And she's not praying to any ordinary person. She's directly telling Krishna. That means she means it. ऐसा नहीं कि आप बोलने के लिए बोल दिया वे भगवान को थोड़ा सा भी थोड़ा बड़ा चढ़ा के. What if Krishna takes it seriously? She means it because she has gone through it, and she actually understands when we were in danger, we were really taking shelter of you. And that is the experience of all the devotees, right? When we are in difficult situations, the way we chant, the way we pray, that is like a very difficult phase, but still those prayers are the most intense prayers. Those chanting, those rounds are the most attentive rounds. That's how Kunti Maharani is praying, Are aur dijiye, give me more. Why? Bhavato darshanam. Because when calamities will come, you will come. And when you will come, by your darshan, bhava darshan will not happen. So when impediments come in the life of devotees, Krishna surely comes in some form or other. Some devotee will come and tell something. You do this. We should train our mind and senses to understand that this is Krishna reciprocating. That's how we have to see things. Otherwise, we will not be able to develop relationship with Krishna. By chance, nothing happens by chance in this world. If something is happening in difficult situations and somebody is coming and giving some solution or anything which happens in life of devotee, it is Krishna's personal intervention. That's how we have to see. Just like one day, I think I have told this earlier also. One time, one of our devotees, he took a yatra, and they were going somewhere in bus, and in the middle of nowhere, the bus stopped because the petrol was over, diesel was over. We दूर दूर तक only खेती दिख रहा है, farm fields, and they were thinking now the next petrol station is 1 kilometers ahead or few kilometers ahead. What to do? From nowhere, a old man came with a lota, and in lota, generally people, they in the morning they carry lota for what? For going for nature's call. So this person came and said, "Arey, you are stuck here." बोले हाँ पेट्रोल खत्म हो गया. He said ये लोटा में ना पेट्रोल है. So he gave that petrol, and then they could. That was the exact amount needed to reach the next petrol pump. So somebody can say, "अरे वो by chance आ गया होगा घूमते फिरते." No. From nowhere, how come a person will come in a lota carrying diesel? That is Krishna's personal intervention. Maybe Krishna personally sent someone, or maybe Krishna came personally. Who knows? So that's how we have to see things as, mercy of Krishna. So therefore, when impediments come, they are meant to make our Krishna consciousness more intense. So, Prabhupada writes, generally the 4 classes of people. Who are the 4 types of people? Distressed, needy, intelligent, inquisitive. Which verse? Artho Arthati Jigyasu and Jnani. So they begin to worship the Lord because they have some sukriti. Otherwise, those who are dushkritina, they can never understand Krishna. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of Krishna. Even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord. In our present situation, we may have heard this so many times, we should welcome it, but still, we don't welcome calamities. We are just waiting, kab khatam hoga. To welcome calamities, it is a very big thing. Or though it is the biggest thing. So that shows how, Kunti Maharani is such a greatest of the devotees. So whether a situation is favorable or unfavorable, how to understand? Whether this situation is bringing me close to Krishna? If yes, it is favorable. If no, it is unfavorable. How a situation is pratikul or anukul? If in certain situation we are more intense, more eager to serve, to practice, that means that is anukul. That is more anukul. So that's how we have to understand. So Prabhupada writes, one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which is accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by hoofs of a calf. Which verse? Very famous verse.
Samashrita Padapadalam Plavam.
Samashrita ye Padapallava Plavam. So when we take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, Mahatpadam Punya Yasho Murare Bhava Ambudhi, the entire ocean of material existence becomes what's Padam Param Padam. So they become the water which is contained in the footprints of a calf. And you can easily cross. Then in the next paragraph, Prabhupada describes what is the attitude of a devotee. Tatte Anukampa. When problem comes, it is mercy of the Lord because we deserve more. So that's what Prabhupada writes. suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes. One should make progress in spiritual realization because that is the mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, they are false. Then, after telling all this, she says, I fear some things. I don't fear all these calamities which you have sent. There are some things in this world which are very, very dangerous for a devotee. All these problems, they are not so dangerous. The security of the material world is actual danger. So all these things which she will tell in this verse, Janma Ishwarya, they are the securities, that's what people depend on. She says these are the real danger. Jo bhi hamare problem hai, they are not real danger. Because in those situations, we are taking shelter of you. But these four things, they are real impediments. Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shri Edamana Madapuman Naivaratya Vidhatum Vai Twama Kinchana Gocharaha.
My lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. Who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling.
So these four things, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, and Shri, Edha, Mana, Madaha, Uman. A person who is trying to improve himself with all these things, he becomes intoxicated. Madaha, they create intoxication. And Naiva Arahati Abhidhatum. And therefore, they cannot approach you, O my Lord, with sincere feelings. Arahati Abhidhatu. Abhidhatu means to address with feelings. They cannot approach you with feelings. Because you are a Kinchana Gochara. You are approached only by a person who is materially exhausted. So what does this mean when Kunti Maharani is saying only poor people can approach Krishna? So what is the meaning of a Kinchana Gochara? A very famous. What is the meaning of a Kinchana Gochara? Anyone? A Kinchana Gochara means one may have possessions, but he doesn't have possessive mentality. That is a Kinchana. A Kinchana does not mean one is a poor beggar. He's a Kinchana in real sense. But even a millionaire or a billionaire can be a Kinchana because he thinks nothing belongs to me. And of all these, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, and Shri, wealth is most intoxicating. And that's what happened to Nalakuar and Manigriv. Because with wealth, everything else follows. They were the associates of Rudra. They were the sons of Kuvera. And because of that wealth, they were intoxicated. So much so that they were bathing in Mandakini Ganga with the damsels naked. And they didn't even care to cover themselves when Narad Muni passed by. Rudrasyanacharo bhutva sudripto dhanadaatmajau kailasho pavane ramye mandakinyo madotkato varunim madiram pitva madavurnitalochano stri janairangayadhir cheratu pushpitevani. They were roaming and singing in the forests of Kailash, and they were bathing in Mandakini Ganga. They didn't even care. That is how wealth is intoxicating. So much so that Indra, when Brihaspati entered, He didn't even get up. Why he didn't get up to welcome Brihaspati? Because he was thinking that, okay, ये तो रोज ही आते हैं, इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है. Why he got that feeling? Because he was intoxicated by the wealth and the respect which he was getting. Indras Tribhuvan Aishwarya Madollanghit Satpathai. Shukdev Goswami says this. Indra, he had Tribhuvan Aishwarya, he had wealth of all the three worlds. Therefore, he was Mada Ullanghit. Because of that, he was intoxicated and deviated from the right path. Because of that wealth, what was happening? Parishrita, he was surrounded by so many devatas. And what they were doing? Stuyamano, they were singing the glories of Indra. So naturally, when you have wealth, then you get followers, you get everything. You get, naturally, you are glorified. Even though somebody is born in a low-class family, but he has wealth, he is famous. Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. He can get honorary degrees of education also if he has wealth. So that's how Akinchana Gochara means he doesn't have possessive mentality. So Prabhupada writes, yeah, somebody can read this purport. Very nice purport.
Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of materialistic. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially popular, intoxicated by such temporary person. Consequently, such materially popular persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of quantity of sin that is unable to commit it. Such is the powers of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in the statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potential, but there is a quality to such utterance. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can willingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in the great material satisfaction cannot be the same, so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore,
Okay. Thank you, bro. So that's how a helpless man can chant in utter helplessness. But a materially puffed up man, a great wealthy person, may say, हम तो भगवान का नाम लेके ही जी रहे हैं. सबको मालूम है, it's just for saying, it's for telling, he says. So he cannot take the names of the Lord in that helpless situation, helpless manner. So therefore, the more we advance materially, material advancement means, as Prabhupada would tell, that it is like increasing the material fever. And the more we get material, wealth, the more one becomes puffed up. So therefore, a devotee, he always knows that whatever is there, it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to Krishna. And all the great kings, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj, and all the great kings, Parikshit Maharaj, they had this mentality. Nothing belongs to me. 12th chapter describes about Parikshit Maharaj's, Yudhishthir Maharaj's rule. Shishichus Rajan Gamo Payasudhasati Muda Kamam Vavarsh Parjanya Sarva Kama Dughamahi. So in the kingdom of Yudhishthir Maharaj, the cows were so happy that they were constantly, the milk was dripping. And even devatas were envying because of that wealth and opulence. But Yudhishthir Maharaj, Apipalat Dharmaraj Pitrivat Ranjayan Praja Nispriha sarvakamebhyo Krishna padanu sevaya. He was a Dharmaraj, he was taking care of the citizens like children. Nispriha, he had no personal desires. Krishna Pada Anusevaya. He was thinking, whatever I have is for the service of Krishna. That is real Akinchan. Akinchan does not mean one is a beggar. So Prabhupada writes, the general process is to decrease the degree of fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons becomes materially impoverished. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, some impoverishment is a good sign, as much as falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned. So that's how she's telling that I don't fear all these calamities which came in my life. I am fearful of these, material advancements, Janma, Aishwarya, Shuta, Shri. And then she continues her prayers based on this theme of Akinchana Gochara. Namo Akinchana Vittaya.
Namo Akinchana Vittaya.
Nivritta Gunavrittaye. Atma Ramaya Shantaya. Kaivalya Pataye Namaha.
My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are the master of the monism.
Namo Akinchana Vittaya, you are the property of material impoverished. Only wealth of devotees is Krishna. Only wealth of devotees is the process of devotional service. That is the dhan. No? That is the dhan which we are accumulating by this process of Krishna consciousness, by the process of devotional service. Prema Ratana Dhana Helai Harainu. This Prema Ratana is the actual dhan of the devotees. So Krishna is a property of material impoverished. Nivritta Gunavrittaye. He is beyond the actions of these modes of nature. Although he is maintaining this universe, he is creating, maintaining, and destroying this universe. It seems that he is in touch with material nature, but he doesn't get affected by it. Etadishanamishasya prakriti asthopi. Although he is situated in this, he is there in this material world. But na yujyate sadatmasthai yatha buddhi tadashraya. He doesn't get affected by the modes. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord don't get affected by the modes. Nivritta gunavrittaye. So Lord deals with the matter, but he's not affected by the matter. And that's how devotees are also. He's Atmaram, he's self-satisfied, he doesn't depend on anyone. He's neutral, but he still depends on the devotee's love. He's Purna Manorath, all his desires are fulfilled automatically, but still he depends on devotees to give him their love. He's Atmaram, he's Purnakam. Just by thinking everything is done. Still he depends on the devotees. Why? And Lord is actively working. That's why he takes avatar. He performs so many pastimes just to show how I care for each and every living entity. That's how he's working. He's Atmaram. For non-devotees, he is inactive. But for devotees, he is very active, very actively working to protect his devotees. He's proactive. He can be inactive, he can be proactive. For non-devotees, he is inactive. He is Upadrashta Anumanta. Bas. He is just registering. Ye agar word kiya, okay. Ye acha kiya, okay. Note down. For a devotee, he actively guides, hey, mat karo, idhar mat jao, you do this, hear this, go to this temple, hear this lecture, he actively guides. He's proactive. Atma Ramaya Shantaya. He Shanta. How he Shant, when devotees, they make some mistake, he doesn't become angry. He's peaceful. That's what Chakravarti Thakur says. He's peaceful in that sense. He shows mercy to the devotees, and entire 6th canto is the testimony of this. Kitna garbad kar rahe hain sahab. Matlab, the canto is full of such, scandals, you can say, starting with Ajamil. Then Indra cuts off the head of Vishwarup, neglects Brihaspati. Then Chitraketu Maharaj, he does offend. It is not an offense, but it is perceived as offense. Lord does not take all these things seriously. Shanta. Atma Ramaya Shantaya and Kaivalya Pataye. He assists those devotees who are interested in liberation. Because he is Kaivalya Pataye, he gives mercy to the devotees. So, Prabhupada writes in the purport, a living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Actually, Prabhupada writes that actually in real sense, living entity cannot be a renouncer. Kuch hai hi nahi to denge kya? If somebody says, I give you 1 crore rupees, how much do you have? I have nothing. So that is what the living entity thinks. I am controller. Hai hi nahi tumhare paas control karne ke liye kuch. Nothing belongs to you at all. It's like one person went to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, why is Krishna dancing with other men's wives? Prabhupada said, that is another question. My question is, why are you dancing with Krishna's wives? Because everything belongs to Krishna and you are exploiting Krishna's property. So living entity cannot be a renouncer. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. Servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces material world not for nothing, but for something tangible. So all the Goswamis, they gave up so much. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Chief Prime Minister, Finance Minister, the son of a billionaire landlord. Why they are giving up everything? Krishna Pada Padmagandha Jai Jana Pai Brahmalok Adi Sukha Tare Nahi Bhai. One who gets the fragrance of the devotional service, Krishna Pada Padmagandha, for him all this wealth of the world becomes insignificant. It is like a stool in front of the diamond. Then Prabhupada quotes the story of Sanatana Goswami. He had a touchstone and then somebody asked him, so then this verse, if this is lying in the pile of garbage, he must be having something better. Then Sanatana Goswami told him holy names. So that's what Prabhupada writes. Then next paragraph Prabhupada writes, advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. All this material advancement is anartha. So therefore, Prabhupada writes that one should not divert his attention from spiritual things. All these things of the material world, they are unwanted. They are not required actually. And he gives the example of people are sending spaceships to moon. It is all waste of time and energy and money. Then after a few 2-3 paragraphs, Prabhupada focuses on the word nivritta gunavritti. Lord is guna nivritti and devotees are also guna nivritti. Lord is not interested in material enjoyment. Devotees are also not interested. Because the Lord is a property of devotees and devotees are the property of the Lord. The devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is the conclusion. And then, after offering such prayers, now Kunti Maharani is glorifying Krishna as a time factor. Because she says that, oh my Lord, you destroy those who offend the devotees. In the form of time factor, you destroy those who offend devotees. Manye tvam kalamishanam anadi nidhanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmitah kalihi.
I consider your lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, and the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse.
Manye, I consider you, O my Lord, as Kalam. I consider you as the eternal time. Ishanam, the supreme controller, who is Anadi, who is without beginning and end. Nidhanam Vibhu, he is all pervasive, O my Lord, you are all pervasive. Samam Charantam, in distributing your mercy, you are equal. Samam. Bhutanam, the dissensions between living beings are only due to social intercourse. People, they have arguments and disarguments and all these debates because they don't understand how Kal is working. That's how you create dissensions between people in the form of time, because in due course of time various things happen. Yan Mitha Kali, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Yan Mitha Kali means in whom there is conflict. Lord is the abode of conflicts. How he is the abode of conflicts? He gives suffering also, he gives bliss also. He is equal also, he is prejudiced also. He is merciful also, he is unmerciful also. So that's how Lord is the abode of conflict. Mitha Kali, Mitha means conflict. Kali means conflict. So, oh my Lord, you are the abode of conflict. You are the supreme personality of unpredictability. Nobody can predict how you will act in certain way. So if conditioned souls suffer, their suffering is because of karma. But if a pure devotee suffers, that is the will of the Lord. That's the desire of the Lord. So that's how Kunti Maharani is praying that you are very difficult to understand. So Prabhupada writes that Kunti Maharani knew perfectly well that Krishna is a primeval Lord and he is the eternal time who is a witness. So Lord, he gives freedom to living beings, and living entities, they misuse the freedom many times, and that's why they suffer. And then he says, Prabhupada writes, the Kala offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined. So therefore, whatever free will a living entity has, if they misuse that free will, then based on that, they perform some good activities or bad activities, and therefore they sometimes enjoy and sometimes they suffer. So therefore, either suffering or happiness, that is a result of his own destiny. You are just facilitating things in the form of this time factor. So somebody may say, somebody may say, okay, who will decide the truth about you? Or who will decide the truth about Krishna if there is disagreement? Because you are saying he is abode of all contradictory natures. Who will decide the truth? What is right? So Kunti Maharani says, no one can decide. That is explained in 2 verses. So nobody can understand you, my Lord. Only you can understand yourself. When you do something, nobody can decide ye sahi kiya ki galat kiya. Only you can understand. Naveda kasyat bhagavam shikirshitam
Navedakashit Bhagwan Shikritam
तवेहमानस्य नृणां विडम्बनम् नयस्य कश्चित् दैतोऽस्ति कर्हि चेत् द्वेषश्च यस्मिन् विषमामतिर्नृणाम्
Hare Krishna, O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object to favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. Hare Krishna.
O Lord, Naved Kaschit. Ved means to know. No one can understand. Chikirshitam. Chikirshitam means your pastimes. Nobody can understand your pastimes. Tava iha, when you appear in this world, Nidam Vidambanam, as a human being, when you appear, it is all Vidambanam, it is all confusing, misleading. Nayasya Kaschit, because you have no specific object of favor and you don't envy anyone also. You don't favor anyone, you don't envy anyone, but you are acting in a way which is bewildering. People only imagine that you are partial. You are not partial. Vishwama Matirninam, people only think that you are partial, but you are not partial. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, you are like sun. Sun shows attachment to the sunstone by imparting its own qualities. That's what Chakravarti Thakur is writing. You know, there is a stone, and the sun, when shines on that stone, the stone also becomes very effulgent. So sun imparts his own qualities in the sunstone, but he is indifferent to blind people. For blind people, whether sun is there or not doesn't matter. Sun is helpful to two Chakravaka birds, because Chakravaka becomes joyful when sun rises. And you are harmful to thieves and rogues. The sun is not partial to anyone. It manifests the same light to all. What's the cause of difference? Depends on the good and bad qualities of the object. Sun is equal, showing mercy to everyone, giving light to everyone, but depending on the object, it is perceived that sun is partial or indifferent or favoring somebody. Similarly, Lord is equal to everyone. Very, very important, to understand. Lord is equal to everyone like sun. Depending on the object who is perceiving, depending on the person who is perceiving Lord's, energies. Some people who are good, they consider Lord as so very merciful. Some people who are bad, they think, "Arey, Lord is not showing mercy to me." So just like sun, Lord is equal. So she's saying that people just imagine that you are partial. You are not partial. And Prabhupada gives the same example. He describes the same thing. He gives the example of sun. And Prabhupada writes in the second paragraph, last paragraph, when Lord descends on this material world, he plays like a human being. And therefore, it appears that Lord is partial to the devotees only, but that is not a fact. Then Prabhupada gives an example. He says, when Lord was fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, although all these big warriors, they were being killed by Arjuna, but what was happening actually? They all were getting liberated. Tathaiva chanye naraloka veera yada have Krishna mukhara vindam netre pibanto nayanabhiramam parthastra puta padama purasya. Tathaiva cha anye, on the battlefield there were so many warriors. Naraloka veera, what they were doing? as they were shooting arrows on Arjuna, they would see the beautiful face of Krishna because he was right there in front of Arjuna. Yada have Krishna mukhara vindam, and they would then when they would see Krishna, they would be lost for some time, drinking the beauty of Krishna. Netre pibanto nayanabhiramam, and taking the advantage of this, Arjuna would shoot the arrow and he would kill them. So they would be purified by the arrow of Arjuna, Parth Astra Puta, purified by the arrow of Arjuna, beholding the beautiful form of the Lord, they would go to the supreme destination. So who can do this? Who can give such a destination to enemies? So that is how Krishna is bewildering. And then another very interesting pastime which Kunti Maharani is revealing, that we'll discuss next time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai.
Haribo.
So next week we will be having a test.
Dandal Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Next there will be a test for sixth
Test,
chapter.
yes, chapter 6th, I think, or 7th.
Sixth.
6th. 6th. Okay.
But sloka and all those things.
That I'll put on the Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So that recitation very nicely, Prabhuji. आप recite करके देंगे दो चार के श्लोक है ना.
हाँ, yes, I'll do that.
बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
Thank you.
इसको हम try करेंगे.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.